Spot on, JJ. It is good reason. Look at us here. Dickinson Stadium. This place smells new. It feels new. People are still putting little bits in place for that big match on Saturday where Brighton come and play Everton. It's going to be massive. But also, this stadium itself is absolutely spectacular. You can see a really rich connection between the old and the new. You've got some brick here, and you've also got a metal ceiling there. And that brick, when it's weathered, they're hoping that this brick turns into the same colour as the old buildings here on the Bramley Moor Dock, so you get that real local feel. As we're talking about local feel, we're here at the Fan Plaza. Around 17,000 people probably will fit in here. They've got concerts booked here and all that kind of stuff. You can see this cream bit of brick here, or a bit of wall. This is the old wall, right? And this separates the Bramley Moor Dock from the water, which technically means where I'm standing used to be water. This entire stadium is built on water. The only thing supporting it, the division between the water and the stadium, is a bed of sand. Old technology, you don't need to know about that, but let's carry on. It seats over about 53,000 people, which is amazing. So this is going to be a real stadium. And there's an old hydraulic tower there, built in 1883, grade 2 listed. If you don't know what grade 2 means, it means it's really, really old, and you've got to put it back together in a particular kind of order. They've got big plans for that, but we've also got big plans for this one here. This is Laura Gates. She's a photographer and a massive Everton fan. Right, we'll talk about the photography later. Talk to me about your fandom, because is it one of those cases, born a blue, always a blue?
Oh yeah, I never had, a sort of choice in the matter. My mum has been bringing me to the game since I was a kid, and even though my dad's a Red, it makes Derby Day a complete night. Yeah, it's always made Derby Day really interesting. But my mum always blames my granddad, and these are the reasons why we're an Evertonian. He took my mum to the games, and yeah, it's always been in my blood, and it's always been in my life, and it kind of always will be, and just always will be an Evertonian.
Okay, quick one. Obviously Goodison Park, tradition, heritage, all that. Now you've got this big modern new stadium. When you heard that this was going to be happening, how did you feel about it?
Oh, absolutely buzzing, really excited. Obviously, as you say, Goodison's an incredibly special place, especially for me personally, memories with my family, and it's the place where I met most of my friends, and even my boyfriend now as well, and it's somewhere that will always be special to me. And now moving forward, I think it's the right direction for the club, and it's an incredible stadium. Even just standing here now and hearing you talk about the history of the dock and everything, you think, it's just looking at it, it's so incredible, it's massive, and being able to have somewhere where hopefully we can build upon our team and progress into the future. I think it's a really, really important thing for Everton Football Club as a whole, business sense and footballing sense, really. So yeah. I think, for us moving here, it should help us kick on and make those positive steps forward. And I think as a fan, I'm really looking forward to being inside there for the first proper, competitive fixture, and once the fans get going in there, I'm sure they'll be right behind the team, and really, really getting into it.
Okay, well, this is the big one. You're a photographer, you're a fan. Word has it that you actually got to work with Everton as well with some of your work. How did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really compares to that, from my point of view, having supported the club and loving the club for so long. It's a real sort of pinch me moment, and that it doesn't really come without all the hard work behind the scenes, and to be able to see the sort of final product on various things is just amazing. And I think the best thing for me from that is seeing how other fans respond to it, and how other fans are enjoying my work and the stuff that I put out, and that's the biggest thing for me, is just other people enjoying it.
Okay, we'll talk about your work a little later on. Can't wait to see some of your photos. They are absolutely amazing. Hopefully we get to go in the stadium as well. But before that, let's talk to Everton captain Seamus Coleman, and he's telling us what it takes to build his perfect stadium.
Its first Premier League match. Let's head back to Io. How close have you got? Oh, you're not there yet. Where are you? You're by the river.
Yeah, we're actually at Western Wharf here, and look, we are really close to the stadium. We'll swivel in a second and I'll show you exactly where we are, but I just want to talk to Laura here, who we spoke to earlier. Big fan, but also a killer photographer as well. Now, talk to me firstly. We're gonna look through a series of photographs. The one that caught my eye to start with this one around the Iron Bridge. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I think, this bridge here that we're standing on, where you can see the sort of crisscross design, is synonymous and infamous at Goodison Park, with the famous Archibald Leach architecture, who had built and helped design Goodison Park and a few other stadiums as well throughout the UK. So I think it's incredible and, quite poignant that we have kind of got a few nods around the new stadium here. Just to reference our past and, while we're sort of stepping into our future. And, I think it's important that we kind of preserve our history and we make a few sort of nods to that here. And, I think it's a really nice design with the water in the background and, again, with the old dock and blending that sort of new architecture with the old architecture.
Look at you, you've got an eye for it, you. And some of that old stuff is this little, you'll see this behind the goal line actually, but this is all sort of dotted around from the old Goodison, this sort of X shape here, and you will see that all across the stadium. Now let's take a seat here because I want everyone just to see this gorgeous stadium in the background. Another thing that's fascinating about this place, and I'm hoping to see it later on, is the South Stand. And I know you've seen it. Just how steep is it?
I mean, yeah, my season ticket is now based in the South Stand lower, and been very, I want to say, lucky enough to kind of climb up to the back of it. But yeah, as someone who's afraid of heights, it was quite something going up there, and you don't really get a feel for it until you're actually in it. I think, as amazing photos as there has been from all kinds of different photographers, I think when you're actually in there, you can really feel just how steep and imposing it is. And I think it's going to be incredible for the atmosphere, and maybe not for like last minute winners up there. I'd be a bit scared. But yeah, it's just incredibly steep, and you can, I think it's like the legal limit it can possibly be.
Still,
it's because I'm thinking about it now when I was stood up there, and you've got an incredible view of the pitch, and you wouldn't think, how high up you are and how steep you are, because you still feel like, that famous Goodison sort of tight-knit closeness to the pitch. You still feel like you're right on top of the pitch, but yeah, I think it's going to be incredible when it's full of Evertonians.
Super quick before we go, I've run down this area in the evening time, and actually it's gorgeous in low light. Yeah. Sunsets here must be amazing. Did you capture any of that as well?
Oh yeah, that's sort of been throughout the build of the new stadium, and you can go up to kind of viewpoints across the city, even miles away, and even over to the Wirral as well, across the water, where you can see this stadium from almost all angles of the city, which is obviously incredible. So yeah, it's just a beautiful and stunning sort of scenery and building that is quite imposing and really putting an Everton stamp on the waterfront down here, which is obviously very iconic. And I think some people have had some fantastic views as well on the ferry, which I'm yet to do, which I think looks really fun. But yeah, the sunsets have been incredible. You've got the way the sort of metal kind of shines in that lower light and things like that. And the brickwork as well, the contrast against the brickwork, which you'd spoken about earlier. And I think, in different lights, you kind of pick up little different bits and pieces that you might not always see in different lights. And I think, it is beautiful, and hopefully we'll get some nice sunsets coming out after a win at some point during the season.
Yeah, I mean, look, surely check out her socials. There's going to be a lot of these pictures on there as well, honestly. And that is the beautiful thing about design, is that people don't realise it. A lot goes into that, the way it shines in the light, the way it looks out to people walking past it as well. And she's captured a lot of that. Hopefully we're going to go in and we'll show you a lot of the stuff we've been talking about already later on, guys.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, that picture Laura took is absolutely beautiful.
Can we get a printed out? Have it in the studio.
Yeah.